to the latest on the U.S. response to the migrant crisis. The U.S. is set to boost its refugee intake by 30,000 over the next 2 years. Take a listen.
I'm pleased to announce today that the United States will significantly increase our numbers for refugee resettlement in the course of this next year and the year after. Last year, I think we were at 70,000. We are now going to go up to 85,000 with at least, and I underscore the at least, it is not a ceiling, it's a floor, of 10,000 over the next year from Syria specifically.
Secretary Kerry saying the U.S. will admit 85,000 in fiscal 2016 and 100,000 refugees in 2017. Joining me now for the counterpoint is Republican Congressman Rodney Davis. Congressman, you say this is a situation that did not have to happen in the first place. Why do you believe that?
Well, I believe that if the administration would have done a better job of ensuring that ISIS was not able to gain a foothold over a wide swath of territory in Syria and Iraq, these refugees wouldn't have ever had to leave their home.
Well, the situation, though, now as it stands is there is a serious emergency for these refugees who need a place to go. And, you know, the definition of a refugee is a person who has fled their home because of war or prosecution and is able to prove it. So, you know, you say you're worried about part of the screening process. What part of that process are you specifically concerned about exactly?
Well, we've seen recent reports of al-Qaeda operatives going through the refugee process from Iraq and ending up in communities like Bowling Green, Kentucky, where they've decided to try and to wage warfare against the United States on our homeland. We have to have better security screening to ensure that those who want to hurt Americans aren't allowed in. Look, Joe, I have the utmost compassion for those who are put in the situation of feeling as though their families have to become refugees. That picture of that young boy lying face down on the beach, I mean, that tore my heart out because I'm a dad, too, and I cannot imagine having to make that decision for my family. But we as Americans have to protect ourselves, too, and this administration needs to do a better job of ensuring that we don't add to the refugee crisis by letting ISIS continue to control wide swaths of territory that they have done.
Well, certainly this is a multi-pronged approach, right? There's the refugee issue, and then there's the geopolitical strategy, and then there's also dealing with the potential security side of the refugee situation. But what specifically do you want to change in the security screenings? You were not specific.
Well, I want to make sure that we have a better idea of anyone who's coming into this country, because as it's been clearly shown, the process that was in place to screen Iraqi refugees failed until those refugees came to America and they were found out to be al-Qaeda operatives. We need to ensure that ISIS operatives are not part of any large-scale refugee influx into this country. We need to do a better job of putting better security protocols in place. And I just don't trust this administration right now to do so. We've invested $4.5 billion of American tax dollars to help the refugee crisis already overseas, to help our allies. We need to ensure that it's not just throwing money at a problem, it's actually putting great screening protocols in place.
Well, some of those screening protocols, Congressman, with all due respect, are actually put into place by career State Department individuals at the very senior level. And actually, those people aren't exactly partisan. But we really appreciate you weighing in on this so much. Congressman Rodney Davis, thank you for joining us today.